To begin with, first let me call upon all the speakers to come to the high table, please. The first presentation is by Mr. Hasith Kandaudahewa, lecturer at the Department of International Relations, Lanka University. He will be speaking to you on Indo-Sri Lanka bilateral relations, analytical, regular, political and cultural relations since 2005.
Thank you, Professor. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Hasith Kandaudahewa from the Department of International Relations in South Carolina. My research topic based on Sri Lanka bilateral relations and analytical review on political and cultural relations in 2005. This paper mainly focuses on evaluating Sri Lanka bilateral relations through the political and cultural perspective and India's supremacy over Sri Lanka and regional territory, and also the answering about the contemporary issues between those countries. Basically, I use primary and secondary sources such as government press release and speech made by authorities, and also the newspaper and journal articles to examine the content and also develop the qualitative research in the foreign policy area. In history, India and Sri Lanka maintained close relations with each other due to the close geographical proximity with each other. The religion and the political ideology are the main important factors to determine the Sri Lanka and Indo-Sri Lanka foreign policy as well as the relations. During the Cold War and the post-Cold War era, both countries continued their relationship with each other closely because due to the regional interdependence. Through the political and the cultural interdependence, India has become a key player in the regional and international development scenario. In Sri Lanka, political and cultural relations mark a critical point in the ethnic conflict in Sri Lanka, especially a single ethnic conflict which has transformed into the post-practice social conflict and it made more involvement, Indian involvement to Sri Lanka in past 2 or 3 decades. Especially under His Excellency President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Indo-Sri Lanka bilateral relations began to develop a new arena with the interdependence with each other, and India becomes the most influential state party to northern and eastern development as well as the era move and the post-war development scenario. As I mentioned before that during the President Mahinda Rajapaksa era, Indo-Sri Lanka relations based on the presidential campaign manifesto called the Mahindra. The document identifies that Indo-Sri Lanka relations basically rely on the 2 facts. One is the acceptance of Indian supremacy over Sri Lankan ethnic conflict, and the other one is friendly and the cooperative approach to conduct the bilateral relations. As a political tradition, President Mahinda Rajapaksa conducted his first visit to India in December 2005 and with Indian President Abdul Kalam to discuss top-level diplomatic talk and also explain the Indian necessity of Indian influence and the Indian royal in the Sri Lankan ethnic issue, as well as building the peace in the regional area. During 2005 to 2009, India and Sri Lanka developed the political relations mainly on the Sri Lankan internal war as well as Indian response to the issue. Sri Lanka developed a close top-level political relations with India, especially during the northern and eastern humanitarian mission called the Bilateral. During the 4-day South Summit in India, the President Mahindra Rajapaksa explained his strategy based on the Eastern Province and Northern Province humanitarian mission to Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, and also explained Sri Lanka appreciate the Indian involvement for those processes. During the last stage of war, Sri Lanka got more pressure, more pressure from our Asian countries to move the peace process rather than engaging with the ethnic terrorists. But the government of Sri Lankan government officially explained the necessity of eliminating terrorism to achieve the positive peace in affected area. So the Indian government share the same ideology, and they believe that ethnicity should be eliminated, and then the political solution comes to the Sri Lankan community. So as a result of that, India sent its top-level diplomatic on that time the External Affairs Minister Punam Mukherjee to discuss as a special Indian envoy to discuss the war strategies and explain the Indian political view, the foreign policy view about the Sri Lankan the humanitarian mission. During the post-internal war era, that India continued with political review and asked to move the political solution on Sri Lankan issue. Then President Mahindra Rajapaksa promised that Indian government that we will be adopted a new commission. As a result of that, we recommended the commission to fact-finding as well as addressing the war crimes and national development plan. So as a result of that, 2 years after that, LLRC report came out, and also government developed the national action plan to address the northern and eastern province development. Those are mainly the Indian political demand for their family ethnic people. Also, meanwhile, India support Sri Lankan government resettlement and rehabilitation program, and also they become a main facilitator for the northern kingdom through Asante and Naginera Nahude program. But also at the same time, we have a huge pressure from South Indian province called Tamil Nadu, and over that Sri Lanka announced that Sri Lanka will based on our relations based on the central government of India, not with the state of the province. So we explained that Sri Lankan internal issue is our own national matter of national security, and there was nothing can do. Nobody can influence Sri Lankan national sovereignty and territorial integrity of Sri Lanka. And also the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and the former External Affairs Minister Punam Mukherjee said those perspective of Sri Lanka. Apart from political relations, India and Sri Lanka developed the cultural relations, mainly focusing with the Buddhism and Hinduism and Dravidian, especially cultural development. Especially in 2005, the both governments carried the high-level diplomatic mission for the develop the cultural relations and provide a more political background for the both Indo-Sri Lanka relations. As well as, for example, recently both countries support and facilitate the cultural and education development process, and also it was accelerated partly by the both government to achieve the specific goals like deharmonizing situation between India and Sri Lanka since 2009 post-internal war era. And also that Indian and both government believe that through the cultural perspective, we can mediate the northern Tamil community. That's a very special thing that both countries share the same mission. But during the contemporary issues between Sri Lanka and India, During the last 6 years, we can identify there are two major political issues between the both countries. First one is the identity settlement and also the ethnic rights and other Tamil communities. Internationally, India agreed with the government procedures, Sri Lankan government procedures, and also that Sri Lanka government officially said that we will go on the national action plan and local policy and decision-making process. As a result of that, like previously, 2 or 3 years ago, that India has against, or the India has voted against Sri Lanka and the United Nations Human Rights Council resolution. But in recent days, the last resolution that India supports and India believes the Sri Lankan ideology and they accept the Sri Lankan ideology over a settlement and the rehabilitation process. So they indirectly supported us with during the United Human Rights